Hello and welcome back to DiceTillDawn, and sorry for again a long period of not doing any videos. I've been working like crazy and stuff going on, but enough of that. Today I'm finally doing a video, and as you can see there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm talking today to you about the just released Star Wars Imperial Assault Legends of the Alliance cooperative or solo app. It was released 2 days ago, I think, and I've now played through the app, through the campaign once, and I'm here to give my review or first impressions kind of thing. I guess, well, I have all the expansions except for 2 or 3 figure packs for Imperial Assault, and I've played it close to 80-90 games or something like that, almost 6 full campaigns of the normal game. And it was my number 1 game in my last top 100, so I really enjoyed the game. And I was really looking forward to this app because I've moved, so my gaming group gets together less often now, and I'm a huge solo player, so this was a win-win for me. I can play the game alone or maybe co-op with my girlfriend and stuff like that, and maybe even with my gaming group try the campaign. Anyway, so the app, let's start with the app first. So I won't show you any big differences here, but this is the main screen, and as you can hear there's nice ambient sound or music, and there are also some cool sound effects like stormtroopers rushing in, it's them, blast them and stuff like that from the movies. They are thematic and some cool things. Not very often, and maybe there could be more, but then again I guess it's good that it doesn't detract too much from the main focus. So basically this works exactly the same as Road to the Legend for Descent, and also kind of similar to Mansions of Madness 2nd edition, so that you can actually add from the collection, add stuff to the digital collection, so it can use your other expansions you have, although those things are not implemented yet pretty much at all. And I think it looks clear, it looks just Star Wars, and it's easy to make out the things. Also the doors and terminals are and the crates are cool 3-dimensional bigger objects in the app, so you can easily spot them and they look cool on the map when you're looking at the app. So very clear, easy to use, and all the info is there, and no bugs. I played through the campaign once, the tutorial and the campaign, and I had not a single bug that I noticed. And I was playing on my very old and trusty iPad 2, this is over 5 years old, and it still ran smoothly with no problems. So a great point for that, because as you might know, for example, the Mansion of Madness 2nd edition app was pretty horrible during the first few months of the game. Well, not horrible, but you know, anyway. What else? So anyway, about the expansion, so it really does need updating, because currently it's basically the core game and you can use your heroes from the expansions with the app, but it doesn't implement any of the other things from the expansion. So while I have almost all of the expansions, I only could use the heroes from the expansions, which is of course great, and I did actually play with 2 of the expansion heroes, Winto and Biv from Twin Shadows and Jabba's Realm, I think, and they were cool to use. And well, so first of all, it needs updating, because currently it is just the core game basically, and the enemy groups aren't that many, because it uses only the core enemies, at least in my case. And it has some interesting twists, the app, on the gameplay and changes. I'll talk about them during the gameplay section, I guess. And it kind of reminds me of Mansions of Madness, and it has these slight role-playing twists, and you use the skills you have, so the strength and perception and tech, or what are they called, you use those quite a bit with the app, so that's cool and gives a bit more flavor to your character, and you can actually influence the story in different ways. But yeah, the app works great, but really needs that update. But great that they got it bug free and released, and everything works and is cool. But I am really looking forward to getting more of the enemy groups in, and I will be playing at least a second time through the campaign once they have implemented the enemy groups and the tiles from the expansions. So I'm looking for that, but currently it's only the core game and core game tiles, and the you can set that you have these expansions, but you can only use the heroes basically from, and the items of course, for the shop items, and those are also usable. So sorry, I forgot about that, but basically all the other stuff is not in yet, but it will be. Okay, so what are the changes to the gameplay? Well, first of all, it's a fully cooperative or solo game, so 2 to 4 heroes, and the AI handles the Imperial side at all points, and it does so in a cool, pretty easy AI system that gives a bonus to each group, which kind of mitigates the lack of a human controller and gives some extra to the groups, and then you just go through this list of possible AIs and do the most opportune thing. And the tutorial actually explains it quite nicely and really gives you an idea of how it works. But still, of course, in this kind of thing, there's always those things that what am I supposed to do? What I always did was just I did try to do what they wanted me to do, and then I did what would make sense and what would be best for them and worst for me, and just went with it as if I was controlling the Imperium forces. But it wasn't that often. Often the instructions were clear and I could easily implement them as they wanted them. But still a few things here and there, but once you get the system, it's really easy to play. Basically the scenarios are 60 to 90 minutes, pretty much spot on. The shortest was like an hour and the longest was maybe hour 35 minutes or something like that. Depends of course, if I'm more players it will be slower. I was playing solo with 2 characters, so bear that in mind. There's a new experience system. Basically you have 5 missions in the campaign, and after each mission you unlock the first, second, third and fourth XP cards. So after the first mission you can pick one of the 2 1 XP cards. You don't basically earn experience, you just unlock cards to use. And you can also pick one more after each mission. So basically in the end you have unlocked all the cards and you can pick any 4 of those. You can even change them between missions to have different cards in. So that's cool, because if you know something about the mission you might think that maybe I'll need this kind of thing more than this kind of thing. So it's cool that you can customize your character on the go. The shop is different in that you always get 4 items depending on your fame, which you get when you complete objectives, skill groups and stuff like that. And you get 4 items which are only weapons and modifications for you to buy, and the rest, the items and accessories, armor stuff, I think all of those you might get as rewards after missions straight away or from different things you are doing. So you only buy weapons and modifications, and you can sell your weapons for their full money back to the shop, but you can't sell your starting equipment. So that's a cool twist and makes the shop, I think, pretty cool. And of course I'm not sure if the shop is bigger if you have more characters, but I don't think so. So anyway, 4 for me. And yeah, skill tests are used more during the game. That's one kind of change, I guess, during the encounters, but I'll talk about it during the campaign. So changes, I guess that's about it. And of course it's fully cooperative now, and Actually, one thing I don't know is that if the missions are branching or not. It didn't seem that way. It felt like those were the same missions, but I'm not sure. A few things here and there, maybe a few decisions might actually change the mission order, and I will see that only when I play it again. But I don't want to play it again right now. I want the more groups in it to make it feel more fresh and just make it better. Anyway, the campaign. So it is 5 missions. So the tutorial and 5 missions. The tutorial is cool, and then 5 full missions ranging from that 60 to 90 minutes, and they are all cool. There are a few kind of different things. One of them actually starts kind of Mansions of Madness, like in a sense. I'm trying to spoil anything, but just you get to talk to people and stuff like that before anything happens. So that was a nice change of pace, and do some investigating in a few of them, and maybe some light puzzles and stuff like that. And I really want more of those. And then there are, after each mission, there are encounters during the, like, when you visit the rebel, like, headquarters or wherever you are with your group. And there are encounters, people you meet, and you can actually choose. Sometimes I think there are a few choices and you have to choose one of them, and you get allies this way if it's possible. For example, I got one group of allies, talking to them and doing something and saying something and stuff like that, and it was just cool. And the allies work differently also, so that, for example, if I get an ally group, it might say that I have them as an ally for 2 missions, and even if I use them or not, the counter always goes down. So for the next 2 missions, I can use them, or if I don't, I still can't use them after the 2 missions. But anyway, allies were very cool. The story of the first campaign was it was Star Wars, nothing special, or like, it wasn't a mind-blowing experience, I guess. But there were some cool twists and an interesting setting, and gives you a good idea of what they could do with the system. And I'm really looking forward to more bigger and fleshed out campaigns. Not bad, but nothing special, I think. Pretty much on par with the basic campaigns, because I don't think they have a lot of cool twists anyway. Well, maybe Jabba's Realm is one of the better campaigns of the bigger campaigns in the base game, but well, what else? I guess that's about it for the campaign. Well, for my feelings of the campaign, well, I really started to feel like I'd want more terrain and more like props to use on the board, because the campaign has different things you encounter. For example, like speeders and kind of things, whatever you find in the Star Wars universe. And of course you don't have any like miniatures for those, so you always use these like generic tokens for everything. And that's really a bummer and really detracts you from the experience, because now you have this cool thing and it's represented by this weird thing which does not convey the feeling at all. So I was really looking forward to, like, maybe I could find some like Star Wars figures and terrain and miniatures somewhere and try to use them to pimp up this game, and it would bring a feeling more. And of course, also it gave a small and very slight role-playing feeling, very slight and small, but still, and I can see that it could be more, so I'd like to see that explained or explored more in the future, and add those like choices and make them matter, and use the skill tests for cool things and rewards, and all those things are very nice. I was actually using one recommendation. I was listening to a playlist while I was playing, even though the app has some kind of ambient music. I was using www.melodice.org, I think it is. It's a cool site, try it out. Just type in a board game, and usually it has a playlist made for that game from YouTube, and you can just listen to it while you're playing the game. I've used it for many games now, and it's always pretty spot on of what I want to hear when I play the game. and Star Wars was of course a great music there, and I was playing Exit the Abandoned Cabin, for example, and the music, I used the music from like Betrayal at House on the Hill, I think, and it was like just the right amount of depression and things. So music is a great part, especially when playing solo, of this kind of thing. Well, so what are my final thoughts? Well, I think this pretty much exceeded or at least made my expectations. I was hoping to get all the enemy groups in already from the start, but I'd rather have the app now than from 6 months on with more abilities, and this way I think they can actually get the app bug free first, and then start adding things to it and see if something breaks it or stuff like that. So I guess that's pretty much a no-brainer, and it doesn't really matter me because it was 5 missions and using only the core components is fine. This is also a good thing because all of those you who don't have the game at all or only have the core game, you're pretty much not missing anything when you get to play this solo or with a group now. You might want to pick up some of the expansions later, but basically at the moment there's no need because you only get more heroes, which are cool to have, but I don't know if it's really worth it, because I don't think you want to play this campaign at this current stage more than twice in a small period of time, short period of time I guess, and stuff like that. But all in all, it gave me what I wanted. In some points it was better, the sound effects are cool, and the skill checks and the encounters were like giving this small role-playing vibe, which I really enjoyed. But then again, the things that are only from the core, and it's a bit basic for starters, those are kind of small negatives. But all in all, I really recommend this highly. Free to get the app, and basically at the moment you only need the core game, so that's a great plus. So that was Star Wars Legends of the Alliance, my final thoughts, and I might come back to this video once they update the app and maybe get a new campaign, and maybe I'll do an update on this video later. But for now, I highly recommend Imperial Assault, Legends of the Alliance app. So, thanks for watching, bye.